Representatives will be on site. Please bring your DD-214, certificate of release or discharge from active duty. To learn more, visit va.gov/Saginaw/healthcare. WSGW News Time 9:07.
For almost 25 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. May is the official start of Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in Michigan. The warmer months bring motorcyclists out in huge numbers, and the amount of crashes tends to see a sharp increase. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson is urging Michigan motorists to practice extra caution after the year 2021 saw the most motorcycle-related crashes and deaths on record. The state is officially launching their Look Twice, Save a Life campaign aimed at promoting safer driving habits. We're learning a bit more today about how an electric vehicle parts plant fits into a site that once housed the Palace of Auburn Hills. Reporter Jeff Gilbert explains.
It won't just be one component built there, but a supplier park where different suppliers make different parts that go into EVs that'll be built at GM's Orion plant nearby. As many as 1,000 jobs could be created. LMC Automotive Jeff Schuster says this is the wave of the future.
It really is more, I guess I would characterize it as modern manufacturing processes and techniques. You know, this is likely the direction we'll see as we look at further EV conversions to existing plants in the future.
If approved, construction could begin this summer, and the facility should be up and running late next year. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
Groundbreaking in Muskegon for a new multi-million-dollar marina. Adelaide Point is in now phase 3 of their development, which will include a wet and dry marina, commercial spaces, 47 residences, and 4 penthouses. In total, the $250 million development is on more than 30 acres of property on Muskegon Lake. The project is located on the former West Michigan Steel Foundry site. Construction of the condo building will begin this year. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10, and now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Tuesday has a high of 42 degrees with scattered rain and snow showers. We'll have a northwest wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30. That's going to keep wind chills into the 30s for today, so definitely still bundle up. Tonight, a low of 38. We'll still see just a couple of lingering showers and some wintry mix, that same northwest wind. And then on Wednesday, a high of 55, only a few lingering showers across the thumb, and we'll have a northwest wind still gusting to around 30, mostly in the morning on Wednesday. By Thursday, a high of 59, just partly cloudy. As we head towards the end of this week, just continuing to warm up. We'll be back right near around 63 by Friday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently at WSGW, we have 38 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom and expanded product lines, too, to include countertops now. So just about everything you need for decorating your home, you will find at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll chat with economist Dr. Timothy Nash from Northwood University. At 11 o'clock this morning, we will be chatting with Jason from Applied Training Solutions. But for the first part of this hour, there is a program going on, which you've heard on the air here a number of times throughout the week. And it's a Give Local campaign. And we're going to find out about it this morning because we have a number of guests with us from the region. First of all, from the Isabella Area Community Foundation, we say good morning to its foundation program officer, Jamie Caspin-Cascadden, and Alicia Pasquale. Good morning, gals.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, in synchronous. That's very good. I like it. From the Bay Area Community Foundation, its president and CEO, Diana Mahoney. Good morning, Diana. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
And also from the Midland Area Community Foundation's president and CEO, Sharon Mortensen. Morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Art.
So I think maybe we need to start with a bit of an overview of how this Give Local campaign got its start and how long it's been going on. Who wants to jump in?
I think Sharon should because she's been here since the beginning.
That's a good answer.
So yes, Midland was the first community to start doing Give Local, and we started in 2014. So we've done it every year since then. So it's very exciting to see the impact of that over the years. And it's been great to have our partners from Bay and Isabella counties join us so that we can do this on a regional basis as well.
So what's different about Give Local than any other day of the week when you all need to have funds coming in so you can give them out? What's different about it? Go ahead.
Well, I think it's just we're all working in concert. All of our nonprofit partners, there's 59 nonprofit partners in Bay, probably more than that in Midland, and I don't know how many in Isabella this year, but everyone is coming together for the common good of supporting our nonprofits who are out there every day on the ground getting the work done.
So let's talk about Isabella for a minute. If someone donates today during the Give Local campaign, does that money turn into more money, or does it just go into the trough like any other donation?
Well, our goal is that any money that we bring in then turns into more money over time. The main goal with any foundation, I think, is to be good stewards of these gifts and to help them grow so that they can go back out into the community and do good things.
Are there matching funds during the Give Local campaign?
There are, and I think that they might differ with each organization. We have $25,000 in matching funds this year, plus an additional $5,000 in prizes. So another thing that makes this day unique is that we can create a little bit of friendly competition between our organizations to get everybody within their organizations excited to give and try and get this extra money through these prizes.
That's Isabella. How about Midland?
So in Midland, we have a pool of $71,000 in matching funds, which nonprofits receive proportionate to the amount that they raise. So if they raise 10% of the funds, they get 10% of that matching pool. And in addition, as was reflected in Isabella County, and I know Bay as well, we have prizes. So we have $3,000 in prizes, 10 different $300 prizes. In fact, one is going on right now here in Midland, and that is, we call it the coffee break. So the nonprofit that raises the most money between 9 and 10 takes home a $300 prize, so extra. And I think that may reflect similar to some of our neighbors here too.
Mm-hmm.
And Diane, how about Bay?
Yep. In Bay, we have a $50,000 matching incentive pool, thanks to Paul Rivard and Fran Santoro and Messiah Lutheran Church, who made a gift in honor of Andreas Teich, their pastor who is retiring. We also have incentive prizes too, and ours is a little bit different than Midland's, but the nonprofit that raises the most money between 9 and 11 today will get an additional gift through our prizes.
So let's talk about how people can participate in the various counties. Let's reverse order it. We'll start in Bay. If someone wants to give local, what do they need to do?
They can do it right from the comfort of their home in their slippers and pajamas by going online at givelocalbay.org. Or if they want to come visit us, I hear there's donuts that are luring people into the office. We are here from 8:30 to 5, accepting donations on site. You could call in to our office to donate. And then also from 5 until 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to be at Tri-City Brewing, lifting a glass with all of our nonprofit partners. And the brewery is donating money off of every drink sold to the Give Local Bay program.
And what's the end time for Give Local?
Midnight for all of us.
Okay, for all of them. All right. So in the Midland community, how do we make a donation?
So go to givelocalmidland.org. You can also stop into our office as well at 76 Ashman Circle. We're open until 5 o'clock today. And as well, our phone lines are open and we welcome you calling. So if someone's more comfortable calling in and having them helping to walk them through that, we are happy to do that as well. So come see us, call us, or go online to givelocalmidland.org.
And Jamie and Alicia in Isabella?
Yeah, so very similar to with what Diane and Sharon shared. Our office is open as well, and we allow for online donations at givelocalisabella.org. We have a happy hour event, and we'll be collecting donations there. So we're going to be at Woodshop Social today from 4 to 6, and yeah, accepting donations until 11:59 p.m. tonight.
So if someone makes a donation, can they designate which one of the charities it goes to?
Yeah, absolutely. And that really is the beauty of Give Local, is you choose what organization. So if you go to any of those websites that we all just mentioned, then you pick the nonprofits you'd like to donate to. So you are in charge as the donor. You get to choose which nonprofits you would like to support through Give Local. So yes, absolutely. The donor picks the organizations they would like to support. So whatever their passion, there are organizations that do that in each of our communities.
And how do you choose the charities to be recipients? Are these charities that you all work with regularly as foundation work?
Yep. I would say in Bay County, it's probably similar, and Alicia and Sharon, you guys jump in. But for us, it's those agencies that have established endowment funds with us. So they've demonstrated an interest in securing their long-term financial future. So that's how they participate in Give Local.
Isabella, same?
Yes, that's the same for us as well. And it's very fun to watch year over year. This is only our 3rd year doing it, but each year we have more and more organizations that opt in. And I think it's because they see the success that all of the other organizations are having. And combined, it is making a huge impact in every organization that has decided to participate.
Same thing in Midland, I assume?
Yes, absolutely. And, as we look back, because one of the things that I think Diane referenced is these are organizations that have opened endowment funds. So they're saying that they are concerned about long-term sustainability and willing to make this investment for that. So they really get the benefit of donations received today. They can immediately have access to those from their funds, and our match goes into their permanent portion of their endowment fund. So basically they're getting help today and they're building long-term sustainability for the future. So it's just a win all the way around.
All right, so let's finish with donation information in each area. So we'll start in Midland. And Sharon, tell us how someone can make a donation.
Absolutely. GiveLocalMidland.org. You can give online. You could stop in our office at 76 Ashman Circle, or you can give us a call at 989-839-9661 if you'd like someone to help walk you through that.
And Diane in Bay?
Yep. In Bay, same thing, givelocalbay.org. Our office is located in the Pure Marquette Depot, which is 1000 Adams. And our phone number is 989-893-4438. And we're very thankful to Liuna 1098 for helping us bring this event to the community.
And in Isabella?
GiveLocalIsabella.org is the website. You can call us at 989-773-7322. And we are located in the Hersey House, which is 306 South University, right across from our public library in Mount Pleasant.
Well, we wish you all great success. Again, it goes until midnight tonight. There are some matching monies out there and also some prizes to be awarded. Thanks all for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Art.
Thank you, Art.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. Good luck.
Thanks. So the Give Local campaign is on for those various foundations and various communities. Be generous. I'll tell you what, when you give to these organizations and you see the money being used for its intended purpose, makes you feel good. And it's a good thing. Give local. Take a moment to tell you about my car dealer, McDonald Ford on M47 in Freeland, but I'm not going to talk about selling cars right now. We're going to talk about McDonald Ford buying cars. You heard me right, buying cars. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process via text. Simply send 7 photos of your car to 989-695-5566. Attention, Joe. Now, the photos must be of the front, the rear, the left and right sides, the car's interior, the dashboard showing the vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. You'll receive an offer, and then you decide. It's that simple. Payment is on the spot, and it includes all paperwork and lien releases, no extra fees. So don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today and tell your friends and family too. Text your photos to Joe at 989-695-5566. You can also go to mcdonaldford.com to obtain the number for the texting. By the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch to boot. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you, and they'd love to buy your car.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Uber technology shares are up more than 5% after the ride company's upbeat quarter. Uber says the number of rides on its platform rose more than 30% from the year-ago quarter. Uber is still losing money, but reported a much smaller loss, and it raised its forecast for the year. Also, Marriott is reporting better than expected earnings, saying demand remains strong. And though the global economic picture is uncertain, Marriott says it is not seeing signs of a slowdown. Cummins, the engine and power systems company, says sales were up more than 30% in its recent quarter. Demand held up despite persistent supply chain constraints. The Federal Reserve meets today. The meeting wraps up tomorrow with its decision on interest rates. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for this, what is today? Tuesday already. The month, it's May 2nd already. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I don't know where April went. That is for sure. We will have open phones for the remainder of the hour. And I want to tell you at 10 o'clock, and there's certainly enough economic news out there, we're going to talk to Dr. Timothy Nash from Northwood University. He's going to talk about the U.S. gross domestic product coming up this week and some other topics that relate on the economy. We'll also talk a little bit about the possibility of defaulting on U.S. debt and talk about the bank failures, too, and how they impact the economy. That's what's coming up after the 10 o'clock news this morning. But for the remainder of the hour, open phones, whatever you'd like to chat about. We would love to chat with you here on the Art Lewis Show. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. According to the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, she said the U.S. could default on its debt as soon as June 1st. Another headline says the bank crisis could hurt the whole economy. Right now, the economy is not in a great place, despite what we're told in Washington. You know, we're told inflation's not bad. Well, go to the store. We all know otherwise. If we measure inflation with all of the economic indicators, in other words, include energy, include food costs, and all of that, it's hurting the average American. There's no two ways about it. And in terms of the banking industry, now that First Republic Bank is part of Chase, there are those that are worried that we might be heading for another 2008 financial catastrophe. We'll talk to Dr. Nash about that. But the stock market did hold steady, and it's stabilized right now. Republic Bank is now part of the Chase system, and no one will lose any funds, so nobody has to be concerned about their own financial success going down the drain because of the bank failure. Of course, how many of those can we afford is the question that has to be answered. We don't have an answer for that yet. And how many more banks out there, particularly banks the size of First Republic and Silicon Valley Bank? I learned something interesting about Silicon Valley Bank. It was a payroll clearinghouse. A number of companies, including some local, made their payments, payroll and contractor payments, through Silicon Valley Bank. And that had to send some chills up their back, I have a feeling. But in the long run, everybody got their money out. And so we now see a consolidation where a bigger bank, JP Morgan Chase, absorbs another big bank, a struggling one, First Republic. And does it impact you? Does it impact me? Well, maybe not directly if we don't have money in those financial institutions. And even if we did, they were insured. And the government seems ready to stand behind all of it. But we'll talk to Dr. Nash about what that really means for all of us and how it can or cannot have impact on us and our finances. It certainly is a concern. Let's put it that way. It raises concerns and causes unnecessary fear in some ways. First of all, if you have $250,000 or less in a financially insured institution, an FDIC institution or one like it, you don't have to worry. Your money's going to be there. The faith and credit of the government is behind it. Oh, but wait a minute. The credit of the government is coming into question because there's a deadline coming up, and the debt ceiling needs to be raised, or we might default. And it will be interesting to see if, it's a game of chicken right now between Speaker McCarthy in the House and the President and the Senate, because the Speaker of the House has thrown the ball into the presidential court. The House passed, narrowly, but passed an extension of the debt ceiling by $1.7 trillion if there is a reduction in spending. The administration has said that's a non-starter. But the president yesterday summoned McCarthy to the White House and some other leaders for urgent talks to avoid a default on the nation's debt. And the president's been receiving pressure from both sides to sit down with McCarthy and find a position. Now, he maintains the debt ceiling is going to be raised without conditions. And the House Republicans insist they won't raise the borrowing limit unless the Democrats agree to spending cuts. This has happened before. It is not the first time. Probably won't be the last either, unfortunately. And at the last minute, just as the clock ticks down, they come to some kind of an agreement. Whether they live up to the agreements after the fact or not, that's a whole nother story. But at least they'll talk. We'll take a quick break, come back. We'll get to our first call this morning.
Spring is here, and we are ready. We can help you get your yard looking alive. Hi, I'm Matt Bouvet. At Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, our plants look great. They're hardy and colorful because we grow them here with a little touch of TLC. Remember, at Abley's, you get the best plants along with time-tested and proven advice, all at very competitive prices. That's been our pledge to our customers for decades. Stroll through our more than 2 acres of greenhouse and garden center and enjoy springtime at its finest. Flats and flats of vibrant, healthy plants just waiting to call your home their home this spring. Decorative pots and hanging plants. Specially designed pots with plant combinations you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy the smell. Feel the energy. Make it a part of your yard this year with the help of Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. Get the TLC you deserve by planting with us this spring at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center on Wadsworth near the freeway, Saginaw. Remember, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. See us online. Like us on Facebook and Twitter too. Let us make your outdoors beautiful.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and let's go to our phones this morning, and we'll talk to Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
You sound like you need some stress relief because you haven't played golf yet. I got something for you this
I
morning.
actually did play last week, but it was canceled last night, so I didn't have to play.
So you were so bad they canceled it. But anyway, this is mushroom and morel picking season. Have you ever went mushroom picking?
I have not. I've heard about it. I've read about it. I've listened to Mike Avery talk about it, but I've never done it.
Okay. Well, this is a kind of a mushroom story. In 1980, they discovered a large mushroom up at Crystal Falls. When they did all the research into it and the testing, they figured that this mushroom was 2,500 years old. And it's big enough that you can it's as big as the Mall of America. Okay, that's how big this thing is. It weighs 440 some tons. Now you need a bigger plate for this thing. You can't go pick at it. But anyways, it's up at Crystal Falls if you want to take a road trip and look at a large mushroom, sir.
I'll put it on my list of things that I need to do sometime in my life.
Okay, I thought this would be a stress relief on a day when you're tired of politics for a while. So that's my offering for the week, sir.
So how did they preserve this mushroom?
It's still there. It's still there. It's 2,500 years old. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah, it's over 20. All the research, they figured out how old it is and everything else. But it's up at Crystal Lake. They have a big festival every summer up there, and it is a lot of fun. I guess they have all kinds of people dress up and everything else to go up there. But that's your knowledge for today, sir, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, it's so kind of you to inform us.
Well, we can't figure out what politician to put in the White House. This will be a stress relief for you.
That's good.
Have a nice day, sir.
All right.
Golf in.
Here's one thing, Errol. Errol.
Yes.
There is one correlation between that mushroom and all of those politicians in Washington.
That's probably true.
They're a fungus.
I bet you were going to say the top of my head. So
No.
anyway, that's it for today. Have a nice day, sir.
All right, Errol. Take care. Bye-bye now. Oh, my God, I had to do that. I just had to do that. Oh, my goodness. The things you learn, though. I mean, there you go. There's a reason, a destination to see a giant 2,500-year-old mushroom. Wow. I know how hard they are to kill because I have them coming up my lawn every now and then. So I'm not surprised there's one that old. Our lines are open for you, whatever you want to chat about, 989-752-6111. As you can tell by that call from Errol, we talk about just about anything. Oh, by the way, your favorite TV show, movie, streaming, whatever, could be in jeopardy right now because the television and movie writers declared Monday they're going to launch an industry-wide strike. This is the first time in 15 years. Yeah, they did it again 15 years. Did it once before 15 years ago. I forget, it may have been more than once. And it has widespread ramifications. This all has to do with fair pay in the streaming era. Now, what they're saying is that they failed to reach a new contract before the writer's current deal expired Tuesday. So all script writing is immediately ceased, which means there won't be any further production of television shows because they don't have scripts, movies because they don't have scripts. So it pretty well shuts down the industry. And what they're saying is that they don't feel they're being fairly compensated when the material is then used on the stream. And to be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about that. And here's why. All right. In the entertainment industry, and let's face it, folks have paid a lot of money in the entertainment industry, particularly the stars. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of money they make. But here is the thing. When you work for an employer in an entertainment industry, and radio is part of that, the employer pays you, and they pay you for your voice, your likeness, radio, television, whatever it is. And then they choose how to use it. For example, I've been working in this business a long time, 60 years to be exact. And it has changed over those years. And now, not only can you hear me on the radio, but you can watch me on the stream when I remember to click the camera on, which I just did. But you can watch me on the stream. I don't get paid extra for that. You can listen to me on the stream. I don't get paid extra for that. My employer pays me to do a job. How he then distributes that job is up to the employer. However, here is the catch in this contract negotiation and strike with the writers. Those writers and showrunners, those that make the show happen, it's estimated receive just 46% of the pay that broadcast series showrunners receive. Therein lies the rub, because essentially you are hired to do the same job. A showrunner on a stream series that is never broadcast live has the same responsibilities, the same job, has to do the same things as a showrunner on a broadcast series, but yet they make less than half the money. Part of that is because the stream doesn't make as much money. But they are saying that they want to strike for fair pay, that they want equality in pay for the same job. They're doing the same work. It takes the same effort to produce that show on stream as it does live or recorded for broadcast. So that really is what it's all about. It'll be interesting to see how long it goes. Take a quick break, come back. We'll get to Carl and Saginaw when we return here on the Art Lewis Show.
Liven up the looking this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile, with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Architella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate, and restyle your home for summer. So come in and visit us. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
When you choose Garber, you become a partner in making better happen in the community. And with Garber's low price guarantee, it'll never cost you a penny more. And that means making better happen at the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Executive Director Nancy Parker, tell us what's in the works right now to make better happen at the Children's Zoo.
Right now, we're doing a project, and Garber is supporting it, and it will provide nursing rooms, quiet rooms, and also family restrooms. So Garber has been a part of our organization for a very long time in terms of support, and it's wonderful. We wouldn't have what we have, and we can't be a zoo for all without support from organizations like Garber.
And it's not just the kids having fun at the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Nancy, have you got a way for the grown-ups to have a blast, too?
And we do have a fundraiser, Brew at the Zoo. It's June 22nd. It's 6 to 9, beer and wine, and a lot of other fun that happens with adults in the zoo at night.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AA Wealth Management, LLC.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
In Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the Midland.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, we are back with you here on WSGW, and back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. I wanted to talk about dogs for a minute.
Oh, okay.
But I stopped, to talk to you. I'm by the Anderson Enrichment Center, and I just saw an eagle come down and try to get some baby geese from two adult geese there.
Yeah.
And the eagle was trying to get some of the baby geese, and the adult geese were pecking at it and shooing it away.
Yep.
And the eagle just gave up and flew away.
Yeah. No, I tell you what, you don't want to upset parent geese. They will chase you and they will get you.
And they're big.
They're big.
They're
yes,
big,
they are.
too.
Interesting.
But anyway, I wondered, did you see that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, just released some guidelines saying that it's okay for dogs to be in outdoor seating restaurants?
Outdoor seating restaurants.
Outdoor seating, yeah, or the area of a restaurant that's
Outdoors, yeah.
Outdoors.
Sure, and they have a lot of that now, closing streets and everything else. I hadn't seen it, but I usually don't take my dog to dinner. Let's put it that way. He and I eat together a lot, but at home, I don't take him out to dinner. Now, I know some people do, but I'm not one of them.
Well, and more people are taking their dogs out with them when they go.
I know that. I understand that. But I just, and I have to be also honest, if I were sitting outside in a restaurant and somebody had a dog laying next to them in their chair, whoopee. I mean, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, as long as it's well behaved.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the key.
Yes. And speaking of well behaved, you said that you put your dog into an obedience class recently?
I did. Yes, he went to the Mid-Michigan Canine Academy, Jim Blau's place. They had him for a week, and he is halfway there. He's better. They did make improvements, no two ways about it, and I have to continue to work at them. I have the same little training treats, so it's funny because I think he knows what he can get away with me, and he couldn't get away with it with them. So my training is a little more difficult, but I'm working at it. I'm working at it. They made improvements. There's no doubt about that. And he's 9 years old, so you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the middle of an obedience class right now, except it's the kind of class where you go, and you work with your dog. They teach you how to train your dog.
No, they teach they teach your dog how to train you.
Well, but it's like a 10 week class,
absolutely.
1 hour a week sort of thing and you're supposed to practice, in between.
Yes.
And
that's the difficulty, because most people don't. And then they don't see progress. You must work with the dog after that training session, or you won't see any progress. I can speak from experience or lack of.
Yes. And I'm trying to get to the point where our dog will come when called.
Yeah.
Regardless of, a squirrel, a cat,
exactly,
whatever.
Well, good luck with it.
To me, that's the goal. To me, that's the gold standard.
All right, Carl, I'm going to have to run for time here, but you keep working with the dog, and that pooch will come around. All right, buddy.
All right, sounds
Take care.
good.
Bye-bye. Let me talk to you about a 401k, an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single day, even for years and decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs, but its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topic should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
And that puts the first hour of the Art Lewis Show to bed. We have news coming up from CBS and the local report, and then we're going to talk to Dr. Timothy Nash about the economy. That follows the news, which is next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A U.S. official has just confirmed to CBS News President Biden will send active duty U.S. troops to the southern border before Title 42 is lifted next Thursday. A source says troops will provide logistical support like narcotics detection and data entry, but will not interact with migrants or anyone in the custody of the Department of Homeland Security. We have breaking news from court in Minneapolis. The last of 4 former police officers facing judgment in George Floyd's death has been found guilty of manslaughter. WCCO TV's Steve Simpson reports.
Sioux Tao's bench trial on second-degree manslaughter wrapped up at the end of January, and this morning, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill released his verdict. Tao opted to forego a jury trial while his co-defendants, Thomas Lane and J. Alexander King, pled guilty to similar state charges and were sentenced to between 36 and 42 months in prison. Tao will be sentenced on August 7th.
Tao held back bystanders as Derek Chauvin Make that as Floyd suffocated with Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck. A devastating find for police investigating the disappearance of 2 teenage girls.
Authorities searching a rural Oklahoma property for 2 missing teenagers discovered the bodies of 7 people, including the suspected remains of the teens and a convicted sex offender who was sought along with them. Eddie Rice is the sheriff in Henrietta, Oklahoma, about 90 miles east of Oklahoma City.
Our hearts go out to the families and friends, schoolmates, and everyone else, and it's just a tragedy in Okmulgee County.
The 2 girls, a 14-year-old and 16-year-old, had been reported missing by their families. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
In the Middle East, the Israeli military says Palestinian militants in Gaza have fired a barrage of rockets after the death of a high-profile Palestinian prisoner in Israeli custody. Qadar Adnan had been on a hunger strike for 3 months. Here in the U.S. again, TV and movie writers have walked off their jobs. The Hollywood Reporter's Alex Weprin.
The first place that you would see the effects are actually on late night television. The Tonight Show on NBC, The Late Show on CBS. They had new episodes last night, and they were supposed to have new episodes tonight. They're off the air until further notice.
Writers Guild members are demanding better pay for streaming shows and better working conditions. Studio producers say their budgets are already maxed out. The last writers' strike 15 years ago lasted for more than 3 months. Tony nominations announced on CBS Mornings last hour. Some Like It Hot waltzes away with 13 nods. That's the most of any Broadway production this season. The Dow is down 169 points. This is CBS News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Don't wait until spring to make your money grow. Right now, you can spring into an 18-month certificate account that will make you 5% APY. Yes, 5% APY. Let your money grow at 5% for 18 months with Capocco Community Credit Union. Start investing it today, and Capocco will help your money grow faster with the best financial support. Short-term certificate accounts available for a limited time. Visit Capocco.org for more information or talk to a member service representative today. APY is annual percentage yield. Some restrictions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA.
For almost 25 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust proofing and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 38 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. The Saginaw Transit Authority Regional Services held an open house at the Dow Event Center Monday to highlight the results of a survey asking area residents where they'd like to see the bus service expand. 3 sites, part of a site feasibility study expected to be finished in July, are under consideration. The former Riverside Plaza on Genesee Avenue, a site near the new Saginaw United High School on Davenport, and the old Potter Street train station. STAR's executive director, Glenn Steffens, says 704 people participated in that survey.
We hit a lot of our riders at the station. I'd guess somewhere around 500 were actual riders that use the system every day. We did have some people from the out county, from the township areas that are not currently in our service area. and non-riders in the city too, because you need to ask the question, why don't you ride? What would cause you to ride if we were doing it?
Steffens says there were also one-on-one meetings with community stakeholders for a rounded input of what the community would like to see STARS do moving forward. A dispute between two parents in the parking lot of Flint International Academy ended in gunfire. State Police Flint Major Case Unit detectives are investigating after a 27-year-old woman allegedly shot a 31-year-old woman during student pickup time on Monday. The victim was taken to a local hospital and later transferred to a trauma center by helicopter. She remains in critical condition. Police say the suspect was arrested. No students were injured. Hemlock Public Schools will host its annual Love of the Arts night next week. The event features live musical and theater performances, food from the culinary arts program, and various displays created by Hemlock students. Tickets are $7 at the door, proceeds going to support the district's arts programs. The event will be held May 9th at 4 p.m. at Hemlock High School. For more information, visit the Hemlock Public School website. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
M&R Garage Door wants to invite everyone who missed them at the Midland Home and Garden Show to stop by their showroom to see what's new with the garage doors. They want to remind you that home experts agree that replacing your old garage door with an M&R door can instantly transform the look and curb appeal of your home more than any other exterior improvement. They can professionally install your garage door and opener. M&R has trained staff to stand behind and warranty their work. Call 894-0971. That's 894-0971. M&R Garage Door. Service is their specialty.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Elk and bear license applications are now on sale. Pure Michigan hunt applications are $5 each. The deadline to apply for those applications is June 1st. Hunters can apply as many times as they like, with the winner obtaining licenses for certain species. Those include one elk, bear, spring turkey, fall turkey, and antlerless deer. However, you can only buy one elk chance and one bear performance point. In addition, the winner may have first pick at a hunting location at a managed waterfowl area. Every year, Michigan residents throw out 10 million tires. The goal is to keep them out of landfills. That's why the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy has found ways to break down and find a use for the materials, as scrap tire coordinator Kirsten Clemens explains.
We do rubber modified asphalt. We do porous pavement. We do rubber modified chip seal, tire derived aggregate that can be used as a septic field aggregate or a lightweight construction material.
As a whole, recycling, reusing, and remanufacturing industries in Michigan provide over 72,000 jobs. Deer habitats in the Upper Peninsula will be getting an upgrade. The DNR, through the Deer Habitat Improvement Partnership Initiative, is giving a dozen organizations grants to enhance deer habitats on non-state lands. In all, $100,000 has been awarded. The grants are funded by a portion of deer hunting license revenue. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 10:10. I'm Mike Percha, and now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Tuesday has a high of 42 degrees with scattered rain and snow showers. We'll have a northwest wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30. That's going to keep wind chills into the 30s for today, so definitely still bundle up. Tonight, a low of 38. We'll still see just a couple of lingering showers and some wintry mix, that same northwest wind. And then on Wednesday, a high of 55, only a few lingering showers across the thumb, and we'll have a northwest wind still gusting to around 30, mostly in the morning on Wednesday. By Thursday, a high of 59, just partly cloudy. As we head towards the end of this week, just continuing to warm up. We'll be back right near around 63 by Friday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently 40 degrees here at WSGW.
Now, The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Expanded showroom, newly expanded, and they have newly expanded product lines, including countertops. Now, everything for home decorating will be found at Westside Decorating Center. I've been asked over the years that I've been doing this who my favorite guests are, and I have quite a few of them. And one of them is with me today, and he is probably near the top of my list of favorite guests. Love talking to him about the economy. And from Northwood University, we say good morning to Dr. Timothy Nash. Tim, good morning.
Art, always a pleasure being on your show, my friend.
It's always fun. I have to ask, I mean, we are told by the administration how wonderful the economy is now, and it's doing well, and everything is in check, and everything is coming up roses. Yet we go to the store, and of course we see eggs at multiple dollars a dozen that never were that way before, and all of that. We go to the gas station, and we pay for expensive gas. Those are the things that we relate to with the economy that I'm not sure the administration does. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely right, and it you take a look at the things you've mentioned, and then look at just in the last year and a half, the cost of financing an automobile has gone from about a 2% interest rate to about 8% today. 30-year fixed home mortgage rate has gone from a year and a half ago to just under 3% to over 7% nationally. So, your point is across the board, things are just a lot more expensive.
And we should point out, when you talk about, for example, mortgage rates, and that's probably the biggest item you ever buy in your life is your house. When we talk about mortgage rates going from a couple of percent, 3% up to 8%, we're talking real money, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. You're adding the average price of a home nationally, you're adding $100,000 over a 30-year period just to finance your home.
Yeah. All right. A couple of things in the news I want to touch on before we get into the U.S. GDP and all of that stuff. The banking crisis. First Silicon Valley Bank, New Republic Bank gets taken over by Chase after it's seized by the feds. What impact does this have on the average depositor and the average bank in the country? Does it have an impact on us? Will it have an impact?
Well, I think it certainly does. The real problem that you have is that for small and medium banks, it's presenting a real crisis of confidence, because as you look at the crisis itself, the root cause is the fact that for a long time, we were investing at low interest rates. And so these banks have, decades of low mortgage interest rates, 30-year fixed mortgage interest rates at between 2 and 4%. And then when inflation got out of control 2 years ago, you've got inflation at, last summer it was as high as just over 9%. So the interest rates are at least a point above inflation, and banks can't compete. And then the rate of return, the money coming in versus the money they have to pay out to get money to be deposited into the bank, is a losing proposition. So many of these banks are gotten in very difficult shape because they're having to pay if they want to compete, on standard, just savings deposits, 4 and 5%, and the money that they've got coming in is 2 or 3%.
Yeah,
the banks are below water, and they can't compete, and especially the smaller banks. Because a lot of these smaller banks are, that we're bailing out depositors well above the 250,000 that the government says it guarantees.
Yeah. You know, if you look at it like any retail business, you know, I say to myself, well, wait a minute now. Yeah, they had loans that we were paying 2% on, but they were buying money at 0.5%. So, you know, contract to contract, you would think, okay, they're making money because they bought money cheap, and we got a decent interest rate, but they're still making money. But they're betting against the future, aren't they?
Well, they're betting against the future. And you're right about the spread. The spread's probably not that favorable that you noted. But simultaneously, you know, once inflation takes, you know, the three component parts for your listeners of an interest rate are, you know, when you're looking at it, it's the originary rate or time preference, it's the credit rate component of an interest rate, and it's the inflationary rate. And so you borrow money because you want something today that you can't pay for today, or that you can pay for today, but you want to use your money for something else. So that's time preference. I want it today. That's, you know, somewhere between a 0.5 point and maybe a point of your interest rate. Second is your credit rating. And so, you know, the inflation or the credit risk premium is adversely or inversely related to your credit rating. People with high credit ratings pay low credit risk premiums. People with high credit risk, they pay more money. And then the third component is the interest rate. And so the first two are normally make up 2.5% in normal for normal individuals. For people with bad credit ratings, you know, it could be 10, 15%. But the real difference maker in the last couple of years has been inflation. You know, it has gone to 40-year highs, and that's driving interest rates up to times that a lot of your listeners don't even remember because they're not old enough. But you know, you and I go back to the late 70s and the early 80s when home mortgage interest rates were double digit.
Yeah,
inflation got so high.
The days of Jimmy Carter.
Exactly.
Which cost them the election.
Exactly.
You know, it's. I think it's for those of us old enough, it's a scary time because we remember that. I'm not sure the younger generation appreciates the situation.
I think you're absolutely right. That, you know, and until you live through it, you can't blame young people for not understanding it. And then simultaneously, they're being told things like, well, you know, you have student loans out, and we're going to forgive your student loan debt. You have right now the new FDIC initiative where if you have a lower credit rating, we're going to subsidize your fees to take out a home mortgage by charging people that did the right thing more.
Yeah.
And you know, we're just sending all the wrong signals to the youth of America today.
Well, the other thing I've talked about too is we've taught people that, oh, don't worry how much debt, you can forgive it. You know, you got credit card debt, don't worry, we can get it reduced by half. You got a college loan, oh, we'll forgive it. You know, what are we teaching?
No, we're certainly not teaching people to compete in an economy and the structure of an economy that literally made the United States the greatest economy in the history of the world. We're taking away the notion of a meritocracy. We're taking away the notion of there are certain things you do that are right, such as paying your bills off, working hard, keeping your credit scores high. You know, we're saying that doesn't necessarily matter today.
Yeah. All right, hang on, Tim. I got to take a break and earn some money for this station, and then we'll be back.
There you go.
We're talking to Dr. Timothy Nash from Northwood University and the McNair Center. We'll tell you more about that, too, when we return here on the Art Lewis Show.
Hemlock Public School District is a premier district pushing the boundaries of innovation. With programs from the cradle to early middle college, we offer a dynamic community and a range of extracurricular activities, including sports, drama, fine arts, and robotics. Hemlock Public Schools is committed to providing an exceptional education that prepares students for success. Our collaborative approach to education ensures that every student receives the individual attention they need to thrive. Enroll at hemlockps.com or call 989-642-5282 for individualized attention and a commitment to success.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
When you order food for work on EasyCater.com, we've got your back. Real humans are here to help with your order every step of the way, making sure everything goes right, even behind the scenes without you knowing. Confirming and double confirming with the restaurant that everything is on track. If there's a problem,
thanks for calling EasyCater.
Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll answer in seconds. We're right here with 100,000 restaurants, working hard to ensure the food arrives on time and is ordered. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower, though there are encouraging earnings reports this morning. Investors are on hold until the Federal Reserve meeting wraps up tomorrow with its decision on interest rates. More signs that people are still traveling. Marriott sales and earnings jumped from last year. It's been seeing very strong demand for its rooms. Shares are up more than 3%. Uber Technologies is also reporting a quarter that top forecast bookings jumped in the period. Uber is up 5.5%. BP's quarter was better than expected, though its profit declined from a year ago, and it is slowing its stock buyback. Ford reports earnings after the Wall Street close. Tesla shares opened higher. It's raising prices on its two top-selling electric cars, Model Y and Model 3. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, and I want to invite you to join in the fun on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with international wrestlers, the Ballet Folklorico of Detroit, 12 amazing local Mexican food trucks, and music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. All that excitement and more in downtown Saginaw. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and we are talking to Dr. Timothy Nash. He's a Vice President Emeritus at Northwood University, Director of the McNair Center for the Advancement of Free Enterprise and Entrepreneurship at Northwood University. They get all that in your business card? I mean, all of that fits?
Really, yeah.
All right. So, Tim, we're about to learn about the first quarter of 2023 when the GDP is released. What do you expect to see?
Well, the first quarter GDP has come out, Art, and it's at 1.1% growth for the first quarter, which was quite disappointing versus what most economists thought. The consensus of economists by a number of major business publications was that the economy was going to grow at 2%, and it came in at 1.1%. That's after the fourth quarter was at 2.6%. Overall, real GDP for 2022 was just under 1.5%. So it is not a good sign for current or future growth in the U.S. economy right now.
So when we talk about the GDP and we talk about an annual growth, what's considered healthy growth? What number do you want to see?
Well, historically, a really good GDP growth today would be 3 to 3.5%. And we averaged from the end of World War II till early, right around 2000, 2001, we averaged GDP growth of about 3.3%. The problem is in the last 20 years, we have average growth of, right around 1.9 to 2%, real growth, meaning growth adjusted for inflation, which is really the only way you should look at it. And so the U.S. economy is slowing down, and, we need to be doing the things that would cause economic growth to rebound and get back to those levels of 3 to 3.5%. We're just not doing them of late, and substantially part of the problem is the national debt. We're next year, Art, we're going to spend $1 trillion of our federal budget likely on interest on the national debt, just paying interest. Just think what the economy of the United States could do if we had $1 trillion invested in creating new jobs rather than just paying interest on the national debt.
Well, there's a lot of talk about it in the news right now because discussions go on about raising the debt ceiling. The Republicans have staked out a position that says we'll raise the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion if you reduce the budget. And the White House staunchly said that's off the table. But now the president has summoned McCarthy to the White House. What do you expect to see happen?
Well, it's going to be a crapshoot. If I had that answer for you, Arthur, I'd be inviting you to do your show at my island in the Caribbean. So,
well, go quick. Get that answer quick.
Yeah. You're right. So I think the real problem that we have today, and we're the problem, meaning all of your listeners and Americans in general, because we let politicians get away with this.
Yeah.
For the last 40 years, the federal government has averaged about 20% of GDP in terms of government spending. It's been in the last 3 to 4 years that we've averaged 25%. And now that the pandemic is over, where the federal government's telling us it's impossible to get back to 20-21% government spending as a percent of GDP. So first and foremost, we've got to start to look at what your mom did, my mom did, parents, collectively, or whoever runs the family budget. Americans at the household level always figure out how to cut the budget, survive, and for the family to get through difficult times. Our politicians just don't seem to be capable of doing that. So my first point would be, we've got to get people to honestly talk about all this government spending that came about as a result of COVID. And no matter what side you're on, you can argue it. Look, it was needed to get us through the COVID recession. You could argue it was excessive spending, but the president's declared COVID is over. So why can't we cut back government spending 1 or 2%? We're talking about cutting it back 1%,
right?
And we're acting as if we're murdering grandma.
Yeah.
And so first and foremost, I would like to see an open debate. I'd like to see all the key players come on the Art Lewis show and have to be grilled by an objective journalist like yourself and explain why we have to have President Biden's budget, the one that he proposed that the Republicans turned down. It's 25% of current GDP. It's out of control.
You mentioned another word that strikes fear in our hearts, and that's recession. And it almost seemed over the last 6 months or so, if you put 100 economists in a room, you get 100 different definitions. I always thought, at least when I went to school, I was taught recession. If you had 2 negative quarters, you had a recession. We had that, but nobody called it a recession. And now there's debate as to whether we're going to have a recession. What do you say?
Well, I would say that the Bureau of Labor Statistics and a couple of other groups get together, and there's a much more complex version of what a recession is. The reason why it wasn't declared a recession the last time is that we didn't have the job loss that we've had in other recessions. I would agree with you, and I think more economists than not will look at 2 negative quarters in GDP, back-to-back quarters, and say it's a recession. So there's a debate on exactly what a recession is. The problem with how we're looking at recessions today. If you look at the data and you want to be objective, go back to December of 2019. We had 158.8 million Americans working full and part-time in the United States. By the trough of the Great Recession, the trough of the COVID recession, April of 2020, 4 months later, we were down to about 133 million Americans working. So we lost about 25 million people in 4 months to the COVID recession. By the end of the year, we were back up to almost 149 million jobs by the end of 2020. Last month's report, March of 2023, the number was 160.85 million people working. So have we had a jobs creation or have we had jobs recovery? And I would argue that we're looking at things in an odd way, and that is that we haven't really created 12 million new jobs.
Right.
We've restored a lot of jobs today. And so the fact of the matter is, when people look at the numbers, they think, wow, we have 12 million more people working in the economy. And we really don't. We have an economy that has about 2 million more people in the economy than we did in December of 2019. So unfortunately, I think when you factor that into consideration, I'll stick with my prediction last time I was on your show, and that is by the end of 2023, we will be in the new official version of a recession.
Deep or mild?
That depends on what the president and the Congress can come up with in Washington. I think if we get a control on the spending, it can be a mild recession. If not, and inflation begins to go up again, then it's going to be a pretty deep recession.
Yeah. All right, hang on, Tim. We'll be back with you. Dr. Timothy Nash, the director of the McNair Center for the Advancement of Free Enterprise and Entrepreneurship at Northwood University, and a leading economist. And we will be back.
Unlock your best lawn yet with innovative zero-turn mowers, lawn tractors, walk-behind mowers, and more at Wolfiles Ace Hardware, your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer. Like the Cub Cadet Ultima Series, zero-turn mowers that are engineered to give you the ultimate all-around mowing experience by delivering next-level comfort and premium cut quality, as well as superior speed and control. And only Wolfiles, your local dealer, can offer this level of strength and back it up with genuine parts, accessories, and trained service technicians to keep your equipment running strong. From barbecues to backyard batting practice, you'll love to lawn for years to come with the Cub Cadet residential mowers. For expert advice, superior service, and exceptional offers, visit Wolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists. Open 7 days.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
Hi, I'm Diane Mahoney, president of the Bay Area Community Foundation. Our local nonprofits work tirelessly to make Bay and Aranac counties united, thriving, and resilient. So today, Tuesday, May 2nd, I invite you to join us in Liuna Local 1098 to support the work of these nonprofits with a gift through Give Local Bay, a 24-hour online fundraiser. With more than $50,000 in matching funds and prizes, your gift goes further when you give where you live. Please join us today and donate at givelocalbay.org.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
And we're back with you talking to Dr. Timothy Nash, the noted economist at Northwood University. I want to take a moment, Tim. I can't remember in my history or learning about history a time when so many American economic markers are under attack, including the dollar itself, which is the underlying currency of most of the world's trade. Are we in risk of losing that position? Are we at risk of some other currency taking over the world's underlying trade?
I would say in the next 10 years, likely not. However, that we're even having the conversation means that there is a possibility that this could happen. For example, China is already doing most of its trading across its border in yuan, and they're trying to organize the BRIC countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and now South Africa. So they're calling it BRICS versus BRIC. They're trying to get that group of countries to expand. They've made offers to 19 other countries, smaller economies, and they would hope to trade in either the yuan, the Chinese currency, or something like petrodollars or even gold. So there's a lot of discussion against the U.S. dollar, and the reason why people trade art in the U.S. dollar, it's twofold. One, it's a secure currency. You're not worried about the United States dollar collapsing and losing its value. There are people that are worried about it more today than in the last 25, 30 years because of the banking crisis. And then the second reason is the United States was the world superpower, and you always knew that the United States was going to stand there for good, and you'd have a much more stable economy. And now with some of our problems with foreign policy, people are worried about the dollar as the superpower currency as well.
So what would it mean to mom and pop if the dollar wasn't the underlying world currency?
Well, it would certainly mean that it would cost us a lot more to finance our national debt. We have about $4 trillion of our current $31.7 trillion national debt is held by foreign countries, and they hold the debt because it's a way of holding a value in the U.S. dollar for future transactions, etc. And those things would stop. It would also mean a higher cost of financing goods and services because we would have to buy the currency, either the international currency or the other country's currency, before we purchased items. And we do buy a lot of goods and services from outside of the United States. So it would mean higher prices in those two examples and many more.
What would happen to the dollar, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if the U.S. were to default because they didn't raise the debt ceiling, what would happen to the dollar?
Well, the dollar would lose value, would lose purchasing power, and it would lose its in essence, we stop making payments. The faith and credit of the United States would be at risk, and not just the value of the dollar, but the value of transactions with the United States would come into play. Unfortunately, we're not going to, in all likelihood, even if we didn't raise the debt ceiling, we would make the strategic payments so it wouldn't affect the dollar, at least initially on the world stage. But what people like me worry about is the government's going to just create more money. We're going to increase the supply of money, and the value of the dollar will certainly go down. The U.S. will pay its debts, but it'll pay its debts with a currency with less and less purchasing power that is less desirable, both for Americans to hold, but also for individuals in other countries. What you're looking for is if you can buy an automobile for $50,000 US, and because of U.S. inflation, that same automobile costs you $75,000, you don't want to hold your money in U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of things that could happen.
Is that not similar to what happened under Jimmy Carter? They cranked up the printing press and inflation went through the roof?
Correct. That's exactly what happened. And quite frankly, it's happened in the last couple of years. And just recently, the Federal Reserve was doing a nice job trying to fight inflation. I wish they had done more of reducing the money supply, but they were raising interest rates and reducing the money supply. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet had gone from roughly $9 trillion down to $8.4 trillion. But in order to make certain that there's enough money available to take care of these banks in the banking crisis, semi-crisis you referred to, the Federal Reserve has expanded the money supply by a couple $100 billion. So the balance sheet's already going up again, which means that we could see a higher inflation when the report comes out in a couple of weeks.
I mean, none of this bodes well for the future, does it?
No, it doesn't. And again, the real problem, Art, is that we have a number of individuals that are now coming to grips with, my mentor, the person that wrote the foreword to When We Are Free, Milton Friedman, the Nobel Prize winning economist. Milton's now relevant again. President Biden said that under a Biden presidency, he wouldn't be relevant. And unfortunately, he has not been relevant. And a lot of these problems are things that Friedman warned about, including if you increase the money supply and you do nothing else, you have the same production of goods and services, and you increase the money supply, ceteris paribus, other things constant, prices are going to go up. And that's exactly what's happened in the last couple of years to pay for so many of these COVID problems or programs. We have increased the money supply, and that's been the primary cause of the inflation we've been dealing with for the last couple of years.
All right, hang on, Tim. Take one more break here. We'll come back. Dr. Timothy Nash is with us, and we will return.
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem during a heavy downpour. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. or go to selectquote.com now. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you talking to Dr. Timothy Nash from Northwood University, where he's the director of the McNair Center for the Advancement of Free Enterprise and Entrepreneurship. So, Tim, the old adage, if you do the same thing over and over again, don't expect a change. And it seems to me government is doing that. And here's what I mean by that. They take the largesse of the government and try and buy votes. And the very people that they think they're helping now find it more expensive to live because of that. So now the government has to go back and get more largesse and give it to them. So it becomes more expensive to live. And the circle continues. Am I missing something?
You are spot on. And unfortunately, we have been doing that since the early 1980s. And the national debt is an exact example of it. Because they want to give people something for nothing as it's perceived, and therefore they don't want to raise taxes. They don't want to cut back other programs to pay for new programs. So there are basically are three ways to finance government. You tax, you borrow, and you inflate. And we've done a lot of borrowing and a lot of inflating to pay for those government programs that you noted. But your process is exactly spot on, and what we're living with today is 40 years of that process. In the early 1980s, government national debt was 34% of GDP. Today, it's 120% of GDP. Even with what the speaker is proposing, and it'll be the basis for the meeting you noted with the president over the next couple of days. Even with what he is proposing, the Democrats are saying to the Republicans, this is a deal. There's no deal. This is just out of control. And I'm not trying to say the Democrats are wrong and the Republicans are right, because that $31.7 trillion national debt is bipartisan, and the process you described of government is bipartisan. But here's the real dirty little secret. Even if we get the $4.8 trillion in cuts that the Speaker of the House is proposing with the new budget, and even if we cut spending by 1% per year, the national debt, which is $31.7 trillion, in 10 years, in 2033, will be over $48.7 trillion. So we talk about cuts, and Americans think, oh, the national debt's getting smaller. And all they're doing is government accounting. We're just cutting. We call it a cut when we cut the increase. So the budget next year is going to be larger than it was this year. There will be a deficit, and we're just maybe cutting the deficit a bit from the proposed budget deficit. But even with this cutting, we are going to have $17 trillion added to our national debt by 2033.
At what point do we say the country is bankrupt? How big does the debt have to be?
And that's really the question that I think Americans are asking, and the world is asking. I remember when I started teaching many, many years ago, and I remember in a class in international economics, and I taught an international economics class and an international trade class. And I remember when Greece had a national debt that was 133% of their GDP. And we were worried about the economy of Greece collapsing. Well, we're not that far from that right now. And we get another bad downturn. How are we going to handle it?
Yeah.
We can't inflate anymore. Our deficit's, in my opinion, out of control. We've got to get back to that. I just remember, I come from a family of 9 kids, my mom and dad. And my mom worked for the Federal Reserve Bank of Detroit. And when she and my father got married, my dad was an engineer, worked for Michigan Consolidated Gas, now DTE Energy, and we lived on one household income. And my mom was in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And she would sit us down every week and talk about money coming in, money going out. And she talked with each of us about, getting a paper route or getting a part-time job. And in our household, we had challenges, but we got by. We got good educations.
They would talk financial responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why isn't it that our government can do the same thing? It can. It's had a great history of doing it, but you're right. Wait, you're just spot on.
All right, listen, Tim, I got to go for time here, but it's always fascinating. We'll do it again. My friend.
Art, it's my honor. Keep up the great work, sir. You are truly one of the great journalists in radio today.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Tim. We'll talk to you down the road. Take care.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye now. Dr. Timothy Nash, we thank you.
From the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come start your morning with Sips, open at 8 a.m. Or a breakfast burrito from Making Bacon. Grab a delicious banh mi from Saigon Sandwich or a corny elote from Cop King. We welcome the Tammy's Closet Hat Boutique, creating one-of-a-kind hats for any occasion. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, and support small business, and we will see you at the market. This is Rachel from the boardroom, located inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., offering everyday lunch specials, a full bar with over 20 Michigan brews on tap, and the best burgers on Riverfront. Enjoy one of the only outdoor patios right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Did you know we offer food and alcohol catering for all types of events, even off-site? Contact us at 989-770-0233 for more information. Get on board and support small.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw. You are going to get half off of a 1-hour session of axe throwing for a group of 4. It's $40. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Focus coming up, we'll talk about applied training solutions with Jason.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. Just announced by the Justice Department what's called the largest international crackdown on a dark web marketplace for fentanyl and other illicit drugs. Attorney General Merrick Garland.
Across the U.S. and 8 other countries, Operation Spector resulted in a total of 288 arrests and the seizure of 117 illegal firearms, 850 kilograms of drugs, and $53.4 million in cash and cryptocurrency.
The Biden administration is set to send 1,500 active duty troops to the southern border ahead of the lifting of Title 42 next week. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
Officials say these 1,500 troops will not be interacting with detained migrants, but rather offering support to the Border Patrol, transportation, helping with administrative duties at processing centers, and a White House aide says the troops may also assist with drug detection. The administration notes it's the same number of troops who were working along the border when President Biden took office. It's roughly a quarter of the number first deployed by former President Trump in 2018.
Late night TV is going to feel it. A strike by about 11,000 TV and film writers was called overnight. Alex Weprin of The Hollywood Reporter.
Pay structures were built around cable television, around broadcast syndication, and streaming has come around in the last 10 years and totally changed the economics. And so what writers are trying to do here is they're trying to align the economic incentives of streaming with their pay scale and making sure that they're being, compensated.
In Washington, Chief Justice John Roberts declined an offer to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee on High Court ethics rules, but others will today.
We are here today because the Supreme Court is playing out of bounds of the ethics rules for federal judges. Justices read the ethics rules in unique and eccentric ways, and when they're caught out of bounds, they refuse to allow any investigation of the facts.
Rhode Island Democrat Sheldon Whitehouse, South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham.
We can talk about ethics, and that's great, but we're also going to talk about today of a concentrated effort by the left to delegitimize this court.
A judge has found a former Minneapolis police officer guilty of aiding and abetting manslaughter for keeping bystanders back while fellow officers restrained a dying George Floyd in 2020. Tony nominations are out today.
He's my brother through and through like the marks.
Some Like It Hot, the adaptation of the 1959 film, taking the most, 13. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 550 points. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back, round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back, round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 38 degrees, a little bit of rain at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A Saginaw man will spend time in a probation residential center after pleading guilty to 12 felony charges. 27-year-old Anthony Bowes was sentenced by Midland County Circuit Court Judge Stephen Karras to 300 days in jail and 5 years of probation at TriCap, a facility in Saginaw offering an alternative to jail focused on rehabilitation. Bowes was arrested in 2021 for possession of methamphetamine and several gun charges, including felon in possession of firearm. Over the next 2 years, Bowes racked up 6 more felony charges, including fleeing from and assaulting police. Bowes received credit for 138 days already served in jail. A Midland County woman had an unusual run-in with some feathered creatures yesterday. Kate Booning was walking her dog on the Pere Marquette Rail Trail between 11 Mile and Barden Roads in North Bradley around 9:30 a.m. when 2 emus came out of the woods and began following her. Booning says she tried to shoo them away, even throwing rocks and sticks at them, but the birds became more aggressive and chased her for about a half mile until she reached a road access point. She called 911, but an animal control officer was unable to find the animals. Booning was able to get a picture of the exotic birds before they began to chase her. Residents and businesses in Bay, Isabella, and Midland counties are encouraged to give local today. Give Local is a 24-hour online fundraiser to support local nonprofits in each county, including Aranac County for Give Local Bay. Individuals can donate to one of the participating organizations by visiting givelocalbay.org, givelocalisabella.org, or givelocalmidland.org. The campaign is sponsored by the community foundations in each county. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Officials have confirmed 2 people who died in a plane crash in Georgia were from Michigan. The Oconee County Sheriff's Department released a statement from the family of 76-year-old Robert Denson and his wife, 75-year-old Sandra Denson, saying both were seasoned pilots who were flying a single-engine Cessna airplane from Florida to Winder, Georgia on Wednesday afternoon when the plane crashed. The family of the Watkinsville couple thanked first responders and the community and requested privacy at this time. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the cause of the crash. We're recognizing small businesses during National Small Business Week. Former Westland Mayor Bill Wild is now president and CEO of the Midwest Independent Retailers Association. He says inflation is affecting them.
Well, I think it is because your dollar doesn't go as far, and with the high price of gas along with inflation, people are having to be a little more cost conscious. Our retailers are big on coupons, and we try to use discounts and rebates wherever we can to help our customers.
With talk of a recession, Wild says many people are being cautious, but he hopes that we can push back against any recession. Days after Westland's police chief resigned over controversial videos, the city's current mayor is under fire for embarrassing videos of his own. A 2014 video shows Mayor Michael Landau making a series of crude jokes about female genitalia, sexually transmitted disease, and other content. It happened while he was emceeing a roast for a local radio station host. Landau says he was young and immature when the video was taken, expressing remorse, but adding it's only emerged now because of political rivals. Last week, Police Chief Jeff Jedrzejczyk resigned after videos showed him embarrassing residents while on patrol as an officer 2 decades ago. WSGW News Time, 11:10. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Monroe.
Tuesday has a high of 42 degrees with scattered rain and snow showers. We'll have a northwest wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30. That's going to keep wind chills into the 30s for today, so definitely still bundle up. Tonight, a low of 38. We'll still see just a couple of lingering showers and some wintry mix, that same northwest wind. And then on Wednesday, a high of 55, only a few lingering showers across the thumb, and we'll have a northwest wind still gusting to around 30, mostly in the morning on Wednesday. By Thursday, a high of 59, just partly cloudy. As we head towards the end of this week, just continuing to warm up. We'll be back right near around 63 by Friday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently 42 degrees here at WSGW.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Indeed, RoofMax. You can find out more about it online at getroofmax.com with 2 X's or call Ben at 989-859-6751. You hear us talk pretty regularly and particularly in Rocket Grab Plus about applied training solutions where you can get your CPL and learn proper and safe handling of firearms. Well, we're going to talk about that today. The man himself, Jason, is with us from Applied Training Solutions. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk. The state has passed some new gun regulations. Some of it, as a gun owner, and you know I am, and a CPL holder, I think are common sense. For example, good storage. Everybody should be concerned about properly storing their gun at home, shouldn't they?
Yeah, good storage is good common sense, right? So I have a little differing opinion about whether we need to legislate common sense or not. But at the end of the day, the state has decided to do this. And obviously, storage is part of the curriculum that's required by the state as a CPL instructor for me to teach. So we go over that storage, and there's a lot of great options out there for storage. Biometric lock boxes that give you quick access and prevent unauthorized tampering of the firearm. So there's a plethora of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a great big safe down in the basement or whatever. So you can still keep those self-defense firearms relatively handy.
Yeah, I have 2 biometric safes, and they're screwed to my tabletops.
Yep.
And they work
Yeah,
like a charm.
they make mounts that go right onto your bed frame.
Yeah.
Under your nightstand. So there's a wide variety. A lot of things, even in the last 5 years, that have come out that we didn't have access to, and much more reliable than what the previous biometric readers were.
All right, so let's spend a little time talking about the CPL, the concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan, and what's required to get one and what Applied Training Solutions provides.
Well, that's a great question. The state requires you to be 21 years old to apply for your concealed pistol license. There are some exceptions for some criminal behavior, depending on what that is. So if you're a felon, you unfortunately can't apply for your CPL unless you have those expunged. And there's some one-off cases where those may or may not apply. But for the most part, 21 years old, complete a training session that's recognized by the state. So at Applied Training Solutions, we're United States Concealed Carry Association certified instructors. So when you come and do your class with us, you get that certificate that shows that you completed class. And then you're going to be able to do some training here that's not available in very many places in the state. We have 3 state-of-the-art digital ranges where we're going to go over here in the classroom some of those shooting fundamentals with laser firearms. So these are high-end actual firearm trainers. It's not a laser tag system. This is actual firearms training in the safety of the classroom setting, utilizing some pretty cool software. I may be a little biased, but I really do enjoy our software.
Yeah, I experienced it. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and we can do a lot of training that you can't necessarily do on a live fire range. Now, digital training is never, ever going to replace live fire training. But this allows us to bridge some things and do cognitive shooting drills. So we can teach target differentiation. We can simulate moving targets. We can practice your shoot, no shoot decision making with one of our 100 video-based shoot scenarios. So there's a lot of robustness in the training that we provide within the course of our CPL class that you're not going to find in very many other places.
And you do also have to include live fire, don't you?
Yes. Yep. We provide the firearm and the ammunition for the live fire portion of the training. We have a private live fire range. So we complete the classroom session at the Midland Mall. So it's a place that's convenient for the greater Tri-Cities area, Greater Bay Area to come and train at. And then we provide that live fire training, give you the ammunition, safety gear, and the firearm is all included in our fee. And if you get the rocket grab deal, that's a really awesome deal.
Yeah, it's half price.
It is half price.
Because it's like $150 everywhere, and you're going to charge them $75 with the rocket grab deal. That's the deal.
Yeah, and you're not having to bring your own ammo or firearm to the class.
That's true.
So,
matter of fact, you'd prefer they don't, right?
We prefer they don't. So it helps us eliminate variables, right? So each of our students gets individualized shooting attention on the live fire range. We don't just put people out on the live fire range and say, make some holes in the paper. Each person gets individualized attention. And then we follow that up with another hour of instructor-led live fire training at a later date with their own firearm. So to do the shooting portion, to get your concealed pistol license certificate from us, we provide the firearm and the ammunition. That way we eliminate that variable. Is it the firearm that's off? Is it the person that's off? So we made a conscious decision to provide that to our students.
All right, Jace, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll be back. Jason with Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We'll tell you more about their classes and how to contact them when we return.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Crane. There's a reason why Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been serving this area since 1956. It's customer satisfaction. Want knowledgeable support and the best brand at the best possible price? New, scratch and dent, or refurbished? We have them. For a limited time, we have rebates on LG appliances, Hot Point Laundry, Frigidaire, Ski Queen, and GE, and special no-interest financing. See us today in Saginaw, 3260 Bay Road, and in Carroll, 1556 West Carroll Road. At Crane's L&M Appliance, we want to earn your business.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw. You are going to get half off of a 1-hour session of axe throwing for a group of 4. It's $40. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, and I want to invite you to join in the fun on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with international wrestlers, the Ballet Folklorico of Detroit, 12 amazing local Mexican food trucks, and music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. All that excitement and more in downtown Saginaw. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we're back with you talking to Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. And we should point out, Jason, you are not an FFL. You don't sell guns.
We
train.
do not.
You train.
We train.
And you have some accessories.
We do have some accessories, holsters, range bags, hearing protection, eye protection.
Right.
But we are not an FFL dealer.
So what other courses do you offer other than the CPL, which is the training you need to get a concealed pistol license? What else do you offer?
So we have advanced defensive combat shooting for those who want to take that next level. We offer instructor time on the digital range at $50 an hour, on the live fire range, $100 an hour. And we meet with these students and we decide where they want to be training wise, and we develop that personalized training plan for them.
So if somebody is interested in either the CPL class or other training, what do they need to do?
So they can visit us on our website. It's www.simu, S-I-M as in Mark, U-range.com. Or they can email info@simurange.com, and we can provide them with whatever they need. Our website is both computer and mobile friendly. So whatever device you're on, it's going to render nice and look really cool. So
typically a CPL class, how long does it take?
It's 8 hours.
And that includes your range time, right?
Correct.
So if someone gets the course, they take the course, they pass the criteria, you give them a certificate. That is not their CPL. What do they need to do then?
So they've got to fill out the application and then go to their county clerk of the county of their residence and turn that in. They wait to sign that until they're actually in front of the county clerk. And then the county clerk has 45 days to do their part and issue that concealed pistol license. The counties in the Bay Area have been very quick from the feedback from the students that we hear back from. So Midland County has been running 6 or 7 days from the time they turn in till they get the actual card back. But you'll get mailed a card that has your concealed pistol license number on it. They pull your picture right from the Secretary of State. If you have that digitized photograph on record with the Secretary of State. So it's a pretty neat process. The state has gone out of their way to fix some of the broken parts that were in the system.
And we should also mention that Michigan, a number of years ago, became a shall issue
state. Yep.
As
So
opposed
once
to
you have a disqualifying conviction, Michigan will issue that, and the state only has 45 days to make the county has 45 days to make that determination.
Well, I remember when
you'll do your fingerprints right there at the county clerk's office, and the Michigan has made it very
streamlined,
user friendly.
Yeah, I filled the paperwork out on the computer at the Secretary of State's office, and I had mine, I think, in 10, 12 days in Saginaw, and I didn't think that was bad. I thought that was pretty good.
No, that's awesome. And really, they're waiting for your fingerprints to come back and your background check to come back. Right. And with technology nowadays, that's almost instantaneous. So it's really them printing the card and getting it back in the mail to you.
All right, Jason, how do they get a hold of you again?
simurange.com, SIMU-range.com.
And if you go to rocketgrabplus.com, you'll find a great deal on CPL classes at half off. Jason, always fun to chat with you. We'll do it again.
Thanks, Art. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now. Jason at Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. How was your sleep last night? You know, today we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there. You need quality sleep, and you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1 hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757.
Attention homeowners! Are you tired of losing power during storms and blackouts?
Keep your home running smoothly with a Generac home standby generator from Menards. It automatically senses power loss to protect your home and family during a power outage. Order yours today and save over $700 after 11% rebate now at Menards. Good through May 7th, savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The Home Builders Association of Saginaw, along with Carter Lumber, invites you to the Spring Parade of Homes. Here's your opportunity to view beautiful homes and talk with local builders about your plans of building or purchasing a new home. The Spring Parade of Homes is Saturday and Sunday, May 13th and 14th, and May 20th and 21st from 1 till 5 p.m., and Wednesday, May 17th from 5 until 8 p.m. Visit SaginawParadeOfHomes.com for tour information and register for our giveaways. That's SaginawParadeOfHomes.com.
All right, that'll do it for Focus today. Our thanks to RoofMax. Get roofmax.com, RoofMax with 2 X's. Farm Show with Farm Director Terry Henney will be along next.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henney and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. We're looking at plenty of clouds out there. Terry Henney here at Radio Center, where we're out of the wind. Yeah, west wind gusting to better than 30 mile an hour here over the last hour. We started off with a pretty chilly feel to it. 28 degrees is what it felt like a little bit earlier this morning. And right now that wind chill isn't too much warmer than what it was. Light rain being reported at the airport. We currently have 40 degrees, 42 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland, they're down to 39. And downtown Bay City is looking at 39 degrees as well. By the time the day is all done, we're not going to be too much warmer than what we are right now. And we owe it all to a low pressure system, which just is not going away fast. Matter of fact, there's upper level and a lower level low pressure. The two of them are working together just east of the Upper Peninsula, just over the northern part of Lake Huron. And that low over the next 24 to 36 hours is gradually going to work its way over Lake Ontario. So as a result, we will begin to see a little bit better weather as we go through the day tomorrow. But today promises to be just a pretty brisk day out there. Not a nice day to be working outside. Quite a bit of wind associated with that low pressure, as many of you are aware, and lake effect snow coming off of Lake Superior across the western and central part of the Upper Peninsula, continuing to give those folks measurable amount of snow. Had a chance to talk to a couple of folks that were over in the Keweenaw Peninsula and in areas around Marquette, where they're talking somewhere between 18 and 25 inches of snow on the ground as of right now. They had not lost much snow over the past, let's say, 3, 4, 5 days. But earlier, they didn't have anything. They were right along with us when the mild temperatures were around. They had some pretty nice weather, and they were looking at some flooding conditions there. They're looking at a pretty good chance of seeing some flooding conditions once again, because it's not unusual for those folks to have cold air in that part of the state in the first part of May. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of lakes on the western side of the Upper Peninsula that in most cases, I talked to a minister who used to have church on Mother's Day. And on some years, the attendance for church wasn't really all that great because many of the folks were getting their ice shanties off of the lake because the ice was starting to break up. Again, that was Mother's Day. Well, this year, I don't think they're going to have any ice on that lake come Mother's Day. I think a lot of that snow is going to be gone because when you take a look at the weather forecasts as we move into the tail end of the work week this week and into the work week next week, we are going to be looking at our temperatures, even up there, running well above normal for this time of the year and not nearly as much precipitation. So they should be rid of a lot of that snow in pretty short order, which obviously has some of them a little concerned. More concern in the Mindak areas running down from Minnesota and the Dakotas into Iowa, into Missouri. The Mississippi River is probably the highest it's been in about 23, 24 years. So they are getting some flooding conditions a little bit closer to Des Moines, Iowa. The water is beginning to recede in northern sections of the Mississippi. And all of that high water is going to be working its way down through the Missouri area and eventually down into and around New Orleans, that part of the country. But quite a bit of that water has been working itself down rather rapidly. Many folks still remember back 1993, where St. Louis experienced flooding. 100-year floods is what a lot of those folks described it as. And for the most part, that was the record-breaking heights of the Mississippi back then. So we're not nearly as bad as what we were back then. And, of course, the highest water we've seen in about 23 years in that part of the country. Measurable amount of snow, well, we touched on that. Central and western parts of the Upper Peninsula looking at quite a bit of snow, 4, 5, 6 inches on the ground. Not uncommon for a lot of those places. You get upwards of a foot in a few selected areas. And as we said, Marquette is officially reporting 20 inches of snow on the ground as of right now. Precipitation over the last 24 hours, we picked up about 1/4 of an inch out at MBS International in southeastern Michigan. They're looking at rainfall amounts of less. Lapeer had 1/4 of an inch, but you get down into and around the Ann Arbor area, Farmington, Richmond, Chelsea, Saline. Manchester had 0.02 of an inch, but the majority of the cities in southeast Michigan were looking at maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe just a tad more. You get further north, we're looking at rainfall amounts. Well, Lake City had 0.4. Petoskey had over an inch of rain in the last 24 hours. Traverse City was looking at about 2/3 of an inch. East Jordan had more than an inch, almost 1.1 inches. Sheboygan looking at 3/4 of an inch. Charlevoix better than 0.8 of an inch. But Atlanta coming in at right around 1/4 of an inch. And Standish about 0.26 of an inch officially reported. West Branch looking at 0.2. But then you get around these parts, Chesaning, Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and a number of the reporting stations, all looking at 1/4 of an inch. Vassar had 1/3 of an inch. Back 40 in Richville, we're looking at about 0.3 of an inch. Caro had 0.4 of an inch. Durand, Owasso, a little bit more, about 1/3 of an inch in that part of the state. Auburn, Midland County, Bay County, again, a lot of them looking at 1/4 of an inch. So what are we looking forward to for the next 24 hours? Well, initially when we talked on Monday, we anticipated by later in the day today, we would very possibly be looking at about 1/4 of an inch altogether. And it does appear as though that's the way we are going to sit. 1/4 of an inch, 1/3 of an inch, pretty much it. The big difference right now, obviously, is no evaporative loss. We just don't have the temperatures or the sun to get any evaporation. We're going to have to wait another couple of days for that to happen. 42 is our projected high with mixed precipitation as we go through the day, spotty in nature. More of that spotty mixed precipitation tonight. Our low temperature will be reached before midnight tonight, because after midnight, we're going to begin to see that thermometer rise. 39, I think about 11 o'clock tonight is going to be our temperature. The low pressure system that's causing all of this is going to be moving over into and around Lake Ontario. So it will be moving away. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds as we go through the day. We're going to start off with clouds. We'll have glimpses of sun during the day, but we should have a pretty nice sunset. Sun will set this evening at 8:39, rise tomorrow morning at 6:27. Again, you're not going to see that, but tomorrow night you should. After a high of 54, tomorrow 41 is going to be our low. Then as we move into the day on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, 56 for a high, but still we're going to have that pesky north breeze, not nearly as strong as what it has been. On Thursday, maybe 7-8 miles per hour. But again, it is going to be coming out of the north. Moving into a little bit closer to the weekend, Friday, partly cloudy skies. Here we go. Pretty close to, if not a little bit above average with those temperatures. Average is 63 in the afternoon and 42 at night. We're going to be looking at 65 with partly cloudy skies on Friday, 46 for a low with partly cloudy skies on Friday night. Then 68 degrees for a high on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, 47 for a low. Then on Sunday, we'll crack the 70-degree mark. We should be looking at temperatures right around 74, if not 75 on Sunday with partly cloudy skies, 52 for a low on Sunday night. Another system is going to be approaching as we move through Sunday night into Monday. Monday looks like clouds and a chance of precipitation real early in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, we'll see some sun on Monday as well. Right now, it looks as though middle 70s, about 74, 75, 76 for a high on Monday. Long-range outlook to take us all the way through the middle of May. Temperatures above normal for this time of the year. Precipitation pattern will be slightly below. So patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to the weather. 42 for a high today, 54 for a high tomorrow, 56 for a high on Thursday, and Friday we crack the 60-degree mark, and then it's onward and upward. Record high in the state, 85, that was set all the way back in 1913 and tied in 2001. The record low, 27, set in 1945. The chances of a late frost this year, highly unlikely right now. 39 is our projected high tonight, 41. Then Thursday night is 39. Then we're going to be looking at middle 40s to low 50s as at least we move through the 15th, 18th of the month. And I doubt very seriously if we will see any frost or freezing temperatures after the possibility, maybe, but very slim on Thursday night. Incidentally, for the month of May, we should normally have just under 3.5 inches of rain. It looks as though, of course, we're on our way, but here we are through the first couple of days of May, and we're looking at altogether about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch. I don't think we're going to be a wet month. I don't think we're going to make what's average for this time of the year precipitation either. Snowfall. Well, on this date, back in 1929, we had 2.5 inches of snow. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Incidentally, a year ago today, our high was 64 and our low was 37. We'll take a look and see what's going on as far as the markets go. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer will be joining us in just a moment. But before we do all that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Kryzak's House Family Restaurant. Reserve that chair, that table. Mother's Day, before you know it, it will be here. Not this weekend, but next weekend. 989-894-5531. Give mom a break. She needs one. Give the family a break as well. Be entertained and be well fed. That's what it's all about at Kryjak's house. And of course, not only are they a great place to dine in, but they're a great place to reserve food for any event that you've got coming up in the not too distant future. And everyone knows that calendar is really beginning to fill up with all the gifts that you got to get and all the events you have to attend. If you've got to supply the food for that event, 989-894-5531. Kryjak's House, family restaurant, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. We say good morning to Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Doug, how's things going today?
Things look a little rough today, unfortunately.
They've been looking a little rough for a while.
Know, but this is the culmination. Tomorrow's the Fed, and he hates us, so we know that. And Yellen talked today, and she hates us. We know that. So I kind of feel like I'm in an airplane that's flown by three people that hate us, and Chairman Xi is on the ground in ground control going, fly that sucker into the ground.
Yep.
Crash it. It just feels bad. PacWest is on their way out. That's another California bank. Was $5 billion a year ago. Now it's down to about $800 million, but they're really talking ugly about that too. And they really haven't put any stopgaps in place to stop the so-called bank runs. So who knows? It's like I said, just another ticking time bomb getting closer to blowing up. But job openings came in, lowest level in 2 years. So I don't know what's going on there. But, and the Saudis lied. That production cut thing that run the price of oil up to 84.50 or whatever it was. Well, now it's down to 72, which is good for us, but they lied. The only reason they did that was so they could sell short against the market and make billions of dollars doing it.
Well, they
down to 72 again.
They had a wedding coming up in June, so they needed to get some money for the gift.
Pay some bills.
Yeah.
Pay some bills. At least they don't have a bar bill. I don't think so in Saudi Arabia since it's illegal. But gasoline's down a dime, $2.44, so that should put us around $3.10. And I think I paid that just about yesterday, $3.11 maybe in Caro. So.
Boy, you were lucky.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's my middle name. Ha ha. So anyway, here's your numbers. May corn is 647, up 7.5. December corn is 521 3/4, down 3.5. The May soybeans 1455.5, up 3/4 of a penny. November soybeans 1270, that's down a nickel. May wheat is $6, down 3 3/4, and December wheat 641 3/4, down 6 cents. The crude oil 72.13, down 3.5 bucks. Heating oil is 228.34, down a dime. Gasoline is 244.77, down 10 1/4 cents. Natural gas 240 3/4, down 9 cents. Currencies: Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3620 at the border. That's up 78 ticks. The dollar buys 136.65 yen. That's down 83 ticks. The euro's at 109.86, up 11 ticks. And the dollar's at 102.05. That's down 10 ticks. Gold is at $20.2170, up $29.50. That's a 1.5%. Silver's $25.43, up 31.5 cents. Platinum's at $10.7190. That's up $7.20. So, flight to precious metals, flight back in they're buying a little bit of crypto to hide from whatever's coming. But we'll see tomorrow. I think that's 2:00.
So now, what bank is it? That's
Pacific West, PacWest.
Okay.
Another California bank. Seriously, they're just going to fall off into the ocean.
Wow.
Somebody hates California besides me.
I think there's a few people out there that have a negative feel about them. But oh well. Hey,
yeah, whatever.
If you want to live there, that's fine.
Prerogative.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Doug, you take care. All right.
You too.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. How is all of this affecting the cash paying prices? Well, let's find out right now by going over to MAC in Breckenridge, where we're looking at the wheat down 2, White wheat is at $5.66. The red wheat is $5.31. New crop also down 2 at $6.16 for the white wheat, $5.41 for the red. Corn down a penny at $5.68. New crop down 3 at $4.62. The soybeans at MAC and Breckenridge down 2 at $14.25. The new crop is down 3 at $12.11. Market report brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor. You know, that tractor might be a hobby, passion, or livelihood, or even a legacy for the next generation. And the folks at Steiner Tractor share your enthusiasm for these antique machines, and they know that you want to keep them running. That's why they do take their job personally at Steiner Tractor Parts, because they understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. Dan tells me that the warehouse is looking pretty good. They got a lot of inventory out there, and they are ready for you to call and ask for whatever part that you need. The chances are real good that they've got it for you, and they'll get it right out to you. 800-234-3280, or go to steinertractor.com. Lots more coming up. We talked a little bit about the flooding conditions in the Mississippi. We'll talk about that in just a second. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency will be joining us in a little bit as well. But first, this.
Planting is right around the corner. Did you remember to ask your seed dealer to apply Heads Up seed treatment? Heads Up is the best way to protect your beans against the onset of white mold throughout the growing season. It works by inducing disease resistance within the plant, and it's compatible with other seed treatments. Before it's too late, ask your seed dealer to apply Heads Up onto your soybeans today. Visit headsupst.com to learn more. That's headsupst.com.
Well, in less than 6 months, the Mississippi River has gone from historically low levels to major flooding. And those high water levels are now impacting farmers and ag businesses back here across Michigan.
The pendulum really can swing pretty dramatically. And this time of the year, we're particularly vulnerable to it.
And that's Mike Steenhoek, Executive Director of the Soy Transportation Coalition. He says it's not unusual for water levels to rise in the spring, but what is unusual is how fast the Mississippi River went from being too dry to too wet.
Because you can have these late winter, early spring, significant weather events with a lot of snowfall in a particular region. And then the ground at that same time is still pretty cold. When it does melt, it doesn't soak into the ground. So the ground behaves more like a tabletop versus a sponge. So any kind of melting that occurs, it's really expedited into our streams and our rivers.
Steenhoek says he expects many locks to be closed through the second week of May.
Not every single one of them is closed because each one has some idiosyncrasies to it with their specific location, but most of them are. Some for a week and a half. Others are going to be 2 to 3 weeks. I envision when we're in the middle of May, we're still going to see some of these locks that are closed. Obviously, the big variable is what kind of precipitation do we receive in the days to come.
While the higher levels will impact some grain shipments, the larger concern is the shipments of fertilizers heading north to reach farmers and ag retailers across the Midwest.
Once the upper Mississippi River opens, typically in March, you start to see a lot of fertilizer shipments northbound into May. So that's something that is really key for the agricultural industry, is having those barge shipments of fertilizer. For those cooperatives that haven't fully restocked, for those that still need to have those deliveries, they're going to have to find alternative routes, and that's typically via railroad.
That was C.J. Miller's report from Michigan Ag Today regarding the Mississippi River and all the ramifications of that high water and the low water. Along with me right now, Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Craig, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Terry. We're doing all right. Yeah, it's hard to believe that, 6 months ago we were talking about low water levels, and now we're talking about flooding along the Mississippi there.
Isn't that something? What's going on as far as our, we're moving into spring now, finally, when guys are really going to kick it into high gear. And the chances are pretty good that they might be borrowing or renting some equipment.
Right, Terry. I've been talking to a few folks. They're feeling a little bit behind, and when they get out there, they're going to try and make up some time by doing just exactly what you said. And if you're thinking about doing that, make sure that you talk with your insurance agent and that the piece of equipment that you are borrowing, if it's from a neighbor or renting from a dealership perhaps, is covered by your policy. That coverage it depends on the company, but there's all kinds of different limits out there. You might have enough coverage on your policy to cover that machine, or you may not. So sometimes we have to make adjustments to the policies for the rental period. So just make sure you're having that conversation before you get out there and get going. Everybody's going to be going fast as soon as the weather breaks.
Well, I'm surprised at how quickly a lot of the planting did start, but you're right. Once this weather really kicks in and the soil temperatures get above the 50-degree mark, we are going to really see some heavy-duty movement out there.
Yep. Based on your forecast, I suspect by the weekend we'll be seeing lots of stuff out in the fields.
Good advice. Craig, you take care. Have a good one, okay?
Thanks, Terry. You too.
You bet. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Let's slide over to New York right now, find out what's going on. Steve Anderson at Baird & Company has the latest for us. Any good news out there today, Steve?
Not really. Not super duper bad, but pretty bad. Dow Jones Industrial Average right now is down 539 points, putting it at 33,513. Volume there is 383 million shares. NASDAQ is down 180 at 12,032. Volume there is 448 million shares. Stocks of local interest right now are all red. Caterpillar 211.84 down 543. Deere 376.96 down 516. CMS 61.28 down 36. Dow 53.21 down 90. DuPont 63.82 down 556. Corteva 59.67 down 179. GM 32.70 down 78. Trinzio 17.34 down 93. Walmart 149.74 down 185. Huntington Bank 10.20 down 78. Independent Bank 16.07 down 132. And AT&T is down by 43 at 17.07. I quit.
I don't blame you. Steve, have a good one, okay?
I will. You do the same, Terry.
You bet. Steve Anderson over at Baird & Company. The latest crop progress here in the state coming up.
It's been popping up in orchards and vineyards all over. Any origin theories, callers?
Oh, hey, yeah, it's Sevia fungicide from BASF, a category leader in disease control.
How do you explain these healthy crops?
Well, longer-lasting residual. Plus, it's built for current regulatory standards and prepared for what's to come, which improves crop marketing flexibility, so...
A fungicide that is out of this world? I knew it. Sevia fungicide from BASF. Or is it? Always read and follow label directions.
While we're talking some of the fruit out there, the tart cherries right now are in full bloom in the southwestern part of the state. Peaches are also in the full bloom. Sugar beets planted 76%. The 5-year average is 45. 15% of the beets are out of the ground right now. As far as oats and barley concerned, running well below average. Corn planted below average about 2%. And soybeans pretty much right on schedule. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. The Justice Department targets and takes down a major drug marketplace. CBS's Jim Crisula.
It was called Operation Spector, the largest international crackdown on the dark web marketplace for the sale and purchase of fentanyl and other illegal drugs. Attorney General Merrick Garland.
In the United States, we arrested 153 defendants, seized 104 illegal guns, and seized over 200,000 pills, including those containing fentanyl.
Nearly 300 people, most of them in the U.S., were arrested as part of the international illicit drug crackdown.
The Biden administration to send 1,500 U.S. troops to the southern border ahead of next week's expiration of Title 42, the policy forcing migrants out of the country. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
These troops will provide logistical support to help free up DHS agents for law enforcement. They won't be interacting with migrants. This will bring the number of troops back to the levels they were at when President Biden took office. They were then drawn down. The troops will come from various bases, but it isn't clear yet which ones.
An Oklahoma woman has identified 4 of the 7 people found dead during a search yesterday as members of her family. CBS's Omar Villafranca says police are focused on a man named Jesse McFadden.
Records from the state's Department of Corrections showed that McFadden was convicted on first-degree rape charges in November of 2003 and released from prison in October 2020. He was slated to stand trial Monday on charges of soliciting sexual conduct with a minor and possession of child pornography.
11,000 Hollywood TV film writers are on strike. Matthew Bellany of Puck Media says pay and streaming are key issues.
This could last a year. We are in a perfect storm here because the studios are all under financial pressure.
The last writers' strike in 2007 lasted just over 3 months. Now to Ukraine, CBS's Charlie D'Agata has more on stepped-up Russian attacks.
Explosions echoed above the skies of Kyiv in the second heavy barrage in 3 nights. Soldiers and civilians alike brace for more preemptive strikes ahead of Ukraine's much-anticipated spring counteroffensive. A senior Ukrainian defense official told CBS News preparations are nearly complete.
The day after disaster in Illinois where a dust storm caused a massive pileup that killed at least 6 people, state police now reopening the interstate, number 55.
The road is drivable. We would warn motorists to be very aware of the weather, aware of driving conditions.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 500 points. This is CBS News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 39 degrees at 12:03. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Birchup. Expanding the Saginaw Transit Authority Regional Services, or STARS bus system, into a new location is no easy task. The current facility at 615 Johnson Street isn't large enough to house its fleet of buses, and the organization is releasing 2 other properties. STARS has been conducting a site feasibility study, examining 3 other locations, each between 12 and 15 acres. The study is expected to be finished in July. STARS Director of External Affairs, Jamie Forbes, says their status as a government organization places rules and restrictions on what kind of funding they receive, but also, logistically speaking, finding the right site is a challenge as well.
I think one of the major limitations is that we have to have a pretty large footprint, and there's not a lot of large footprints available, properties that we could get our hands on that are close to where our riders live and where they want to get.
Forbes says, additionally, if a site is privately owned, if the sale price is too high, it could exclude them from affording the location. The Federal Reserve begins its two-day meeting today, examining the economy and measuring inflation. Business editor Murray Feldman has this report.
We've seen inflation fall. Some prices have started to come down. The question the Fed will be trying to answer is, are they coming down enough? The Federal Reserve has been hiking interest rates for over a year now. Inflation, which measured more than 9% last summer, has fallen to 5%. The Federal Reserve wants to see inflation, though, drop to 2.5%. The Fed will be trying to figure out if we need more interest rate hikes to do that, or if the hikes we've had will take care of it as they work their way through the economy. The Fed's decision comes down at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'm Murray Feldman, the Michigan News Network.
There's a record for snow in the Upper Peninsula in May. Marquette had 19.8 inches of snow, which is a record for the first of the month. The National Weather Service says other areas in the central and western UP also have a lot of snow and concerned more about flooding when it melts. There are also scattered power outages because of the recent storm. WSGW News Time 12:05, and now for today's weather forecast. Chance of scattered rain and possible snow showers today with a high of 42 degrees, and lingering rain or snow showers tonight with a low of 38. Cloudy skies tomorrow, a bit gusty with a high of 55 degrees. This is WSGW, your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region, your connection to the world.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is